Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent, and it's going to be an exciting episode. We've got a couple of scenarios to play out here. Are we going higher, or are we going to dip a little bit before we move to all-time highs? Let's cover that during today's video, provide all the scenarios that could happen over the next couple of days. And let's kick off with a very, very interesting article that came out a couple of days ago. Could XRP become the digital dollar to rival China's digital yuan? So could we see a case where we go from America and the SEC investigating Ripple XRP to America's only hope against the digital yuan actually becoming XRP? There's been a lot of talk about that, and it'll be interesting to see how this story develops over the next couple of months and weeks and years, how this all plays out. But could, the XRP Ripple be America's solution to rival China? And how would that play along? What impact would that have across the prices of both Bitcoin, digital yuan, and XRP? So it'll be a very, very interesting development over the next couple of weeks, months, and years. But that is a very, very that could be a possibility. I mean, there's no reason why this couldn't be the case. I mean, America needs to do something, with the deflating USD dollar. So do look into that. Investing.com had this particular interesting article come out, and definitely do check it out. On the channel, we provide you the information that I go over. You go away, do your own research, and sometimes we actually do agree on some certain topics. So I mentioned a couple of days ago that the whole green talk is very, very important out there into the crypto community, and will be part of more legal clarity over the entire crypto space. And Ripple's, they're making a radical call about Bitcoin becoming more greener. So Chris Larsen says Bitcoin needs to move off proof of work to something more eco-friendly, but that looks pretty unlikely. So over here, he's talking about, the energy consumption, compared to Ripple is just astronomical. We're talking about XRP's network consumes like the equivalent of 50 American home versus 12 million homes for Bitcoin. And it is becoming a point of discussion, and something that even China itself has been talking about when it comes to Bitcoin. So what play will energy consumption have in the world of crypto? And as we know, Ethereum and Bitcoin, from an energy consumption point of view, huge energy consumption. So that is something that we do have to keep an eye on. It is very, very important. It would be foolish to not keep an eye out on this, because that will move the market, and it will move it in a big way, whichever way it goes. Does it go pro XRP? Does it go pro Bitcoin? Does it go pro Ethereum? We got to keep an eye on that, because the charts will only tell us certain things. But again, I use the Nokia 3310 example. No one knew what Apple was building until they finally released it and launched it out into the world. And so the charts, if you looked at the Nokia charts, I'm sure analyst experts and all them would have said, oh yeah, Nokia is set to rise, another 20% each year on year. And then boom, the iPhone comes out, and well, we all know what happened there. So what effects are XRP whales having on its price? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at a point in time where the whales have arrived. They're buying heaps, they're buying in very large quantities and volumes. And since April 13, they've been buying a lot. And I mean a lot of XRP are being bought by whales. Now, some of you have asked, what's this whale that you keep talking about? Who are the whales? How do you define a whale? A whale is an investor or investors or large capital firms that are buying anywhere north of $100 million at a time. That's a whale. And so when I say the whales have arrived, the whales have come in and they're buying and buying, even during SEC. In fact, when the price dipped to 17 cents USD days after the SEC lawsuit came out, there was more XRP wallets opened that day than any other day for like 5 or 6 months. What does that tell you? Price manipulation. Now, I don't go into why the SEC case has come about, how that could have been done potentially to allow whales to buy more XRP at a cheaper price. I don't go into that, because that A, we don't have the facts around that, so it's purely speculative. And B, does it really matter? You know, we're in XRP. If you've just arrived on the XRP train, you've come on the channel for the first time, you're about to do your research on XRP. It doesn't matter what happened in the past or, you know, what all these speculations happen. All we know is today and tomorrow. So let's look at, you know, what can we do today to make tomorrow better. And that's what's really, really important. But could there have been some manipulation to allow whales to buy at a cheaper price? Of course. We live in a corrupted world. Of course, these things happen every single day. It would be foolish to not think that something like this could have been created for a much bigger purpose that we probably won't even know for a couple of years' time who are the major XRP holders of the future. So all we know is what we can do, what we can control. So let's get right into, you know, what is the likely scenario to come from here. So a couple of people are speculating right now that, you know, we're going to break out of this, and then once we break out of that, you know, we break out of this particular trend line, and then, you know, the next step that we're going towards is, you know, 272, 589, 20, and $13. 33, but we gotta break that 184, and if we break 184, retest 184 and continue to push forward. But there is another scenario today that I have to mention, because while this can happen, there is another scenario which I think could potentially happen, which may allow some of you that have been sitting on the fence to get back in, but more on that in a little bit. So from a charts perspective, it's looking really, really good. You know, like the 100 SMA or the blue line will cross into the 200 SMA red line, adding more buying pressure, and a new all-time high is coming. So I want to mention to you that a new all-time high is coming, a $3.30 prediction by the end of May. For me, nothing has changed in the last 24 hours to say to you that nothing like that is happening. But there could be an opportunity here that might play out and allow you to get in. And then what I'm thinking here is that, yes, we have tried and tested this line a couple of times, but there is a potential, and I do say potential, and again, not financial advisor, certainly no financial advice being given here, but there could be a scenario where over the next 24, 48 hours, we could drop to as low as 134 and then begin the rise. And I'll explain that in a minute why, but that could be a scenario, and I do want you to be aware of that. Now, yesterday, we did talk about, you know, how high can we go, what are the likelihood, and where can we see XRP over the next couple of years. And, you know, we have begun the journey, you know, to rise towards these incredible numbers that we will see over the next couple of years. And so I want to remind you of that, because while today I'm talking to you about what could happen in the next 24 hours, we're going to keep an eye out over, you know, the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months about what's about to happen. So the reason why I'm telling you that we could drop to as low as 134 potentially in the next 24, 48 hours is only for those that haven't gone in yet and are thinking about coming in. You might get yourself a new entry. However, if you're already in, there's no point, you know, for a couple of cents here or there, you know, to come in, you know, like for that 30 cents, because you will pay capital gains wherever you are around the world. So make sure you are aware of that, because that 30 cents drop is not enough of a movement for you to sell everything and then come in at 134. And also, may I remind you that while I say that this could play out, that we could see a 30-cent drop before we go to $2.20 and beyond, it may not even happen, and we may just fly through to $2, $2.20. So keep an eye out. You know, don't let 30 cents become $2, and you're gonna be buying it at a much higher price. So just be mindful of that, because like I said, there could be a scenario here where we do drop, and we drop, like I said, to that 134 range, 135, and then push through and break out and absolutely destroy the previous all-time high over the next couple of weeks. But just be mindful. You might be able to get yourself a new entry, but that's not, for me, crystal clear enough to say with 100% conviction, like I did when it was, you know, hey, it's going to drop to 90 cents, 80 cents, and it did happen. I'm not that confident on this one, because we could go either way. We could just fly through to $2.55, or we may just get one more chance. TradingView.com does have XRP at the moment for a buy signal. So you can see here we're on a buy from a technical perspective, and you know, we are sitting at that 159, 160 range, and we've been sitting there for the last couple of hours. Today we haven't really had that much of a movement at the time of making this. But here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this, right? So we can see ourselves potentially falling into this particular line, and we could go as low as like I said, 134, 135 here or there, but that could be a possibility before, we begin our rise to 230. So we would go to like 134, come back up to 170, touch down again to 156, and then push through to 230. So could happen, could well happen. And this is probably like, why? Because I mean, this is the last resistance before we push to 190, and then 190 is like a tiny bit of resistance before we go to 250, 260. So we might see 130s again before and that would be probably like one of the final times that you see things in this price range before we push through and push through really, really hard. So from all angles, this could look like a scenario that could well play out. So just keep an eye, because that could happen. And like I said, if you're already in, don't worry, just hold, you'll be fine. And then 194 is that final resistance before we break into the $2 mark. Moving forward, as I mentioned, over the next couple of months, weeks, 12, 21, 35s, $93, they're all coming. It is all about to happen. If we were to do an exact replica of 2017 bull run, $93 would be the price. But I believe, and again, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm only giving you my thoughts. I believe that we talk too much about 2017. In general, as a whole industry, we just speak way too much about 2017. We are not in 2017. Do you even remember what type of mobile you had back in 2017? What model, what features, what things happened? We're in a completely different phase where crypto is becoming part of our everyday living, and more people are adopting it. So mass adoption is upon us. However, if we were to follow 2017, we would be at $93 XRP by the end of it. Where do we go from here as far as what the next 5 years are? Some of you have asked this particular question, and I think it's a very valid question to ask, because some of you are looking at this as an extremely long-term project that you're going to be here for a very, very, very long time holding. And I think that anywhere above 1,000 in 5 years from now is certainly not out of the question. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. I'd love to know your comments below about what you think about this, but check this out. Let me know what you know in the comments. If you learned something new today, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you all so very much, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.